We begin by welcoming you and thanking you for your question, which is, what is the simplest way for a couple to deal with their innate differences when they have different spiritual beliefs? This question is only asked from a place of seeing the differences as a problem. When you are not seeing the differences as a problem, you are not inspired to such a question. We invite you to consider that the differences are not a problem, but that the differences are complementary. In your relationships, and particularly in your romantic relationships, humans have a saying that opposites attract. That is because you are often drawn to a balancing energy. And that is because you are looking for reconnection back to the whole. You tend to focus outwardly, looking for connection, but the most deep and real connection lies within yourself. Consider that you cannot experience connection with another anywhere except for within your own self. The greatest connector and source of connection, and the only experiencer of connection, lies within you. But humanity has a misconception, particularly with romantic relationships, that people are made to feel complete by their relationship with their partner. That is a foundational misunderstanding that creates a lot of pain, anguish, and divorce. So we invite you to consider that the differences are complementary and not a problem, and you will find that the less resistance you have to them, the less of a problem they will be. Differences can be balancing, differences can be harmonizing when they're allowed to be. But when they are made problems, they divide. You do not need to have the same spiritual beliefs as your partner in order to be in a satisfied, happy relationship, unless you demand that you have the same spiritual beliefs as your partner. But that demand never comes from the soul, it comes from the mind, and it is an attempt to control and to manage in order to minimize the risk of pain. And yet it is the source of pain, much pain. We invite you to consider that your role in a relationship is of acceptance, because that in fact is your relationship with the whole of life. When acceptance is your goal, when acceptance is your aim, things are allowed to flow through you. And we are mindful of reminding you that acceptance does not mean putting up with things that are not honouring of you. You need to honour you in all ways, in all levels, in all layers. But even when you choose to walk away from the situation, if you do it from a place of acceptance rather than fighting against, you will move forward in harmony and wholeness, even if things are difficult. So know that difference is not a problem. The reason you are incarnate is to have experiences, and you're all incarnated with inherent differences, but with many more similarities. Difference can be exciting. Difference can be delicious. Difference can be enticing. But it can be the opposite if you deem it so. The only reconciliation that is required is the reconciliation within the self. You do not need to make your partner agree with your spiritual beliefs, and they do not need for you to agree with theirs. But if you believe that you do, there is pain. So we invite you to play with accepting difference because there will always be difference, but there will always be much more similarity. And as you play with your heart and you play with connection, remind yourself that the more of that you direct to yourself and experience with yourself, the more natural and easy it will be for you to experience it with others, because they are in fact a reflection of you. We love you. We support you. We prioritize you. We care for you. And we want you to do the same. Again, we love you. Go well.